Goodness me, I'm after a massive bolt of motivation at the minute. I just cannot be bothered. It may come across in this video, so if you turn it off now, I wouldn't blame you, to be honest. But anyway, let's have a look at this. If you've read the Telegraph over the last couple of days, you would have thought that Labour are finished. That's it. Corbyn is history. Just over a month since he's been elected, and that's it. The guy's out the door. They're stripping him of the leadership, and every Labour MP is looking to beat him up. And why? Well, it's because of the Fiscal Charter, of course. John McDonnell and Jeremy Corbyn said they'd sign up to the Fiscal Charter, but now they have changed their mind. Look at this article in the Tory Graph this morning. John McDonnell admits Fiscal Charter U-turn confused Labour MPs live. George Osborne has urged moderate MPs to support economic sanity after Labour leadership's stubborn policy reversal on the government's plan for balancing the books. Look at the language. Economic sanity and plan for balancing the books. But why have Labour changed their mind? What on earth is going on? Well, this Fiscal Charter that George Osborne has been spewing on about as economic sanity, what it does is it enshrines in law that any government will get rid of the deficit by the year 2019/2020 and will then, by law, run a surplus to pay off the massive national debt that the Tories have hugely increased while they've been in power, and this is clearly a plan for balancing the books. Good God, what's the matter with Labour? What are they doing? Why are they not wanting to balance the books and have economic sanity? This is self-destruction. This is doomsday for Labour. Or is it? Despite what you read in the Tory papers, and despite what the man on the telly tells you with ridiculous headlines like the one I showed you earlier, all that Labour have done is say, hang on a cotton-picking minute. If we sign up for this Fiscal Charter, then we have no choice but to hammer the poor with even more cuts to be able to hit the deficit reduction targets in 2019. But Labour, who are now our apparent anti-austerity party so we can all go back to sleep and leave it in their hands, Labour don't want to hammer the poor quite as much as the Tories. Labour aren't signing up to the Fiscal Charter because they want to take longer to cut the deficit. They say they'll still cut the deficit, but they need more time, and they'll cut over a longer period, because killing the poor to pay the bankers back money that they create out of thin air, and yes, they do create it out of thin air, it's just numbers on a screen. What Labour want to do is cut over a longer period of time and have some growth and taxes to help pay off the deficit, unlike the Tories who just want to kill the poor. After all, haven't we got all the time in the world to pay off the deficit? Unless of course Cameron starts World War III, in which case we shouldn't bother paying any of the money back. We should just give even more money to everybody to go and party until the end of the world comes. This was obviously set out as a trick laid by Osborne and Cameron, and sadly by the headlines and the way the headless, brainless MPs have run around, it looks like it's worked. If MPs had an ounce of brain power, they'd be able to work this one out for themselves. Again, it comes down to, do we want to hammer the poor to pay the rich, or do we want to hammer the poor and get some more money back off the rich to pay the rich? That's basically what we're up against. Would you like to die with a single slash to the throat, sir? Or would you like to die with 5 smaller slashes to the throat? We need a whole new system, and time is running out on us, quite literally.